Who are some of Georgia's top sleeper defenders in the 2024 class? Of course, signing day is just a few days away. Georgia's trying to lock down that #1 recruiting class in 2024. Right now, if no one has decommitted that I'm aware of, with Dylan Raiola still on the commit list, Georgia's at #1. Big-time players throughout the top 100, throughout the top 150. But I want to talk about a few guys that I think are better than their current ranking and guys that I think Georgia fans should be really excited about, even though they might be on the lower end of this 2024 class. Now, the first guy I want to talk about is Nnamdi Agboko. He is a massive interior defensive lineman who's still fairly new to football. He's going to be on campus next weekend, getting after it, practicing with the team. He is 6'5", 344 pounds, just a big, raw defensive lineman who can really eat up some offensive linemen and clog those running lanes and still get after the quarterback. This year, as a senior, he had 58 tackles. Pretty good for a guy, getting double teamed a lot. 25 tackles for loss. This guy lived in the backfield. He's shoving double teams away from him. He's throwing offensive linemen to the side, and then he's attacking the ball carrier. 5 sacks, still pretty good for a nose tackle. 14 quarterback hurries. He's taking the offensive lineman and just moving them backwards into the quarterback, and he's doing it with ease. 2 forced fumbles. This guy has a lot of potential. Again, he's just been playing football for a few years, but when you can move at that size and continue to develop, I mean, he's just a blank canvas right now. Trey Scott is bringing in a big, powerful, raw lineman and trying to teach him up, coach him up. And if he does that successfully, in 3-4 years, Georgia fans are going to be thinking, man, this kid was a 3-star. He's gigantic. He is moving people. He's a body mover. He's making plays in the backfield. And he was a 3-star? Yeah. He is ranked right now as the number 69 overall defensive line prospect and the number 749 prospect overall in the country. Basically number 750. That's pretty low, and he is one of Georgia's lower ranked guys in this class, but I think he could have a big time career and one that people look back on and say, yeah, I think the rankings got it wrong. This kid's been very effective in Georgia's defense on that front. Let's talk about a linebacker right now. Now, again, it's not going to be the first two. Justin Williams can't be under the radar. He can't be sleeper prospect, right? He's the #1 linebacker in the country. He's a 5-star, top 10 player. So you can't talk about him. You can't talk about Chris Cole, who's a top 100 player in the country, the #3 linebacker. But Christopher Jones, 6'3", 220, big, versatile kid who can do a little bit of everything. He was hurt a little bit as a senior this past year, but I spoke with one of his trainers, a guy who works with him all the time during his recruitment. And I was like, what's Georgia getting in this kid? Here's what he said. His versatility, character, and willingness to work is what makes him special. The guy's a workhorse. He'll accept any responsibility that comes with the challenge. He understands that as much is given, much is required. Being the son of a pastor, he understands that faith without work is a dead measure. He believes that he can be great. His faith is rooted in God. He's got a lot of length and enough versatility to play on the edge, the 7 technique, the mic, whatever they want to call it over there at Georgia. I mean, the guy can cover receivers too. He can do whatever they need him to. So you're bringing in a guy that's 6'3", 230, loves to work, is driven, loves to compete, loves to get better, loves the way Georgia practices, loves the way they compete. He loves the culture of the program. This is a fit for the program for sure. Can play inside. That's where he's ranked. He's ranked as the number 11 linebacker prospect in the country, and the number 146 prospect in America. So this is a top 150 player. And I think he still might be a little better than that. He did not have a bunch of stats this past year. Obviously, he was hurt, but he passes the physical test. He can get after the quarterback. He's long, he's athletic. He can deliver a big hit on the ball carrier, where it's quarterback, wide receiver, running back, fullback, whoever. This kid's going to lay the lumber. And again, his versatility and his work ethic makes him a really intriguing prospect. He's the 3rd ranked linebacker they're bringing in, but I think he has the potential, if he keeps working and developing, to be a possible starter down the road, if not a reliable backup who sees the field here and there and makes plays on special teams. Quintavious Johnson is another guy I want to talk about on the defensive line. Dean and I saw him earlier this year. It was in August. It was hot. It was one of the first games of the season. Mays played Douglas in Atlanta. Crazy hot. This dude is playing both ways at 6'4", 255 pounds, made plays, made tackles, at defensive end, moved inside, made a couple tackles in that first half. And then the second half, while everyone's sweating, dropping to the ground, getting their IVs in, dude's playing running back, and he's trucking guys, and he is getting the tough yards. 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2, dude can bowl over a defender or two and get that first down. Around the goal line, he's a big deal as well, but he's going to play defense at Georgia. But his overall potential, his length, his natural athleticism at 255 pounds, the way he can run was really impressive. We only could stay for that first half because we had to get out of there. We had to go to another game. But after a handful of tackles and after a few carries just in the first half alone, Dean and I left and they said, this kid's better than a 3-star. He physically passes the test of a big-time SEC football player, and he gets after it. He's a hard worker. He loves to win. He loves to get better. And this is another guy with a lot of potential. He's got a high ceiling. They're going to have to keep working with him, right? But I do think that he has the potential to be one of the biggest sleepers on defense in this class. I like what he brings to the table, and he's an under-the-radar guy that I think Georgia fans may not know a whole lot about right now. But don't be surprised if he outplays his 3-star ranking in Athens down the road. Now, another guy I want to talk about is another defensive lineman. They only have 3 defensive backs, and they're all ranked pretty high, so it's hard to call any of the guys in the secondary as a sleeper to know. But Jordan Thomas is another defensive lineman with some versatility. He'll probably play inside, though, because he is 6'5", 315 pounds, but really good athlete and really run. I mean, you turn on the film, this guy looks like a grizzly bear out there, just swallowing up the ball carrier, making guys look silly. Whoever's lined up in front of him, whose job it is to block this big guy, not happening. I mean, he's just toying with offensive linemen, attacking the quarterback. He runs guys down. I mean, he plays hungry. He plays violent. And he's a really good athlete for a guy his size, 315 pounds. He'll run you down. If you're hesitating back there and you're trying to get to the edge and you're not going 100%, dude's going to come and light you up. Big-time player out of New Jersey. He's ranked as the number 19 defensive lineman, which is 100% respectable. You're one of the top 20 defensive line prospects in the country. You're really good. Number 55 over 155 overall. So this guy's a top 160 player in the country. Solid 4 stars. But, you look at this class, and most of them are 4 stars, right? I didn't want to make a video about, the lowest ranked 3 stars or the top sleepers. No, this kid is really good. Obviously, he's a 4-star guy, top 160 in the country, but I think he's better than I think a lot of Georgia fans think at the time. They think just a run stuffer who might be able to occasionally get to the quarterback, but he can line 5, 7 technique. He can play between the center and the guard and the tackle. You can do a lot with him because of his natural athleticism at 315 pounds. You can't really teach size. This guy has it. He's got a great motor, a great work ethic, and he's coming to Athens to compete and get after it. And they need depth, quality depth, especially on the inside. And I'm not saying he's going to come in and play immediately, but he's going to provide plenty of depth and a big potential, to be a quality starter down the line. But they went after this kid for a reason. They loved him as a staff. I think they think that he's better than the number 19 defensive lineman in the country, and maybe he is. But you turn on the film, the guy makes a lot of plays, and he makes them look easy, and they're flashy plays. He's dragging the quarterback down, the running back down. I mean, he looks like he's playing on a different level. I mean, just eating up the ball carrier. That's what you want to see. So as far as sleeper guys to know, a lot of them are on the defensive line because they're taking a lot. And a lot of them are kind of projects who are just big, natural, raw athletes. And if Trey Scott can work with these guys and develop them into the player that a lot of people think they can be, this is going to be a really good class. Now, I'm not saying everyone's going to stick with Georgia, right? Because these guys can leave willy-nilly every year in the transfer portal, right? So I'm not saying that Jordan Thomas from New Jersey is going to stay with Georgia for 3 or 4 years. I'm not saying that Dawg, who's from North Carolina, not Charlotte, as someone pointed out to me in another video, thank you. Not all of these guys are bringing in, obviously, as Georgia fans can attest to. They're not all staying with Georgia. Some of them might. Some of them could go 3-4 years and go to the NFL. I think that's the plan, right? But if you're not playing, you have to leave. But if these guys get an opportunity, get a real chance to show what they can be, I think all of these players have the potential to really open some eyes and some surprise, some Georgia fans out there. So those are guys I have my on that I think are going to be pretty good players that are towards the bottom end of Georgia's 24 class. And we'll see how it goes. But signing day around the corner. Thanks for watching this video. We really, really appreciate it. We got more recruiting stuff coming. I'm going to do one of these videos for offense too. Some top 5 offensive sleepers to know. That should be coming up in the next couple of days, I guess, whenever this goes out. But really appreciate y'all watching. Sign up to our newsletter. It's free. That link is down below to check everything we have over on Dawg Post. Thanks for watching this video, and I hope to see you over on the website.